My name is Jason Cruz. I write for a website called MMA Payout here in Seattle, Washington. First and foremost question is, since you are a Minnesota Golden Gopher, do you know anything about Boye Mafe?
Yeah, yep.
You see,
Absolutely.
the Seahawks drafted him in I believe the second round. So
Yep.
I'm sure this is the first time in the interview process someone's asked you about a football player that you used to play with. But can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, he's a great guy. Freak athlete. Yeah, I mean, we played on defense for a couple of years together, and then I was on the other side of the ball against him on offense. And yeah, he's a hell of a guy and a great athlete.
Awesome,
He'll
awesome.
be great in Seattle.
Great. That's good to hear. That's good to hear as a Seahawk fan. It's good to hear. Enough about Seahawk football. We're going to be talking about your fight coming up in a couple weeks here in South Dakota. First question about the fight is, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. More ready than ever and ready to go.
And so, where have you been training?
So I've been this last half of my camp, I've been down at Sanford MMA or Killcliff Fight Club, whatever you want to call it, down in Florida for the last month.
Okay, and now you're back in South Dakota?
I'm back in Minneapolis currently.
Minneapolis.
Yep, just staying sharp at my gym down here this week, and then I gotta be in Sioux Falls by Monday. So.
Okay, and you're originally from South Dakota, is that correct?
Yep, grew up in South Dakota. Yep.
So do you feel any pressure, extra pressure with, I assume a lot of friends and family going to be there in person. How does that feel? Is that something that you enjoy, or is that something that you're kind of a little nerve wracking?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's any extra pressure or anything like that. I mean, I really like it. Like my last fight with Bellator there, like I had basically a whole section of people that were there just to cheer me on, and it was full right from the get-go. So I think it just kind of adds to the experience. I think it was really cool.
Cool. Now, do you for fight week, are you going to kind of excommunicate yourself from friends and family, or does it in general, do friends and family just kind of know the process from football, just kind of not bother you during fight week? And how's that process going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be pretty isolated. Yeah, I'm just going to be around the guys and the coaches that we have there, and just keeping my mind sharp for the fight coming up. I mean, I think even if I wanted to see people, we got the COVID protocols and all that stuff too, and I don't want to mess up anything there and not be able to fight or something like that. So yeah, I'll be pretty isolated.
Gotcha. Now, take us back a little bit about how your transition from college football to MMA. At what point did you? I know that you wrestled in high school, but when did you think about that transition after football?
It was kind of in the back of my head during most of my football career. I've always thought about it. You never really know until you try it out. So I was like, yeah, it's something I'll try out. I got the wrestling. I really enjoyed wrestling, even though I decided to play football in college. And that's literally what I did when I knew I was going to be about done with football. I made some phone calls, got put in touch with my gym down here, and yeah, just showed up and gave it a try. And I really, really liked it. So I just kept going and kept working hard at it.
So at what point did you go full time to, hey, I'm going to be an MMA fighter?
I mean, full time, I would say, I mean, up until this last December, I was still doing school. So yeah, so I've been finishing my master's pretty much the whole time I've been fighting, except for these last 6 or 7 months. So I don't know if you want to call that full time, but I was basically just doing school and training, and now I'm pretty much only training and doing some work on the side for some income. But yeah,
Oh, wow.
I would say probably December.
So what are you getting your master's in?
I got my master's in sport and exercise science.
Oh, congratulations. And is that from the University of Minnesota as well?
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. And is that does that help in any way with training as far as sports and exercise science, as far as like how knowing your body and what it cannot do, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it really does. So yeah, I did my undergrad in kinesiology, and then I got this master's degree, and all toward the goal of doing like strength and conditioning. So I'm really well versed in that side of things, and I understand like how the human body works, how to train, how to do things right, how to train specifically for certain sports, you know, how to take care of yourself, how to eat, all that stuff. So I mean, it's been a really big help. And at the same time, I can kind of progress that career along with my fighting career, because they kind of go hand in hand, you know, like even my master's thesis was a 52-week like strength and conditioning protocol for MMA.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it meshes really well. So I mean, I'm basically, at least when I'm here in Minneapolis, I'm basically my own strength coach and stuff like that too. So it's really useful.
Cool, cool. When you transitioned into MMA, obviously you had that wrestling background. What do you believe was maybe the hardest challenge as far as transitioning to MMA? Was it boxing? Was it jiu-jitsu? Was there a certain discipline that you had to focus more on because it didn't come second nature to you, or you weren't picking it up as swiftly as maybe wrestling?
Yeah, it was definitely the kickboxing. I
Okay.
mean, I did Taekwondo for a couple of years. Even like that helped a little bit, but like it's still not the same. Like the technique is completely different, and you know the mentality. Like Taekwondo is a point scoring sport and stuff like that. And I'd never boxed a day in my life, so that was a steep learning curve, I would say. Like especially yeah, when I showed up, I think it was on a sparring day, and I I had no idea. I didn't have any gear. You know, I was borrowing gloves and shin guards, but that was definitely the steepest learning curve. But it's also the thing that I've really enjoyed the most, like learning about that. And I've really focused on it a lot because, you know, people like to see stand up. It's an important, you can't be one dimensional anymore. So I've really spent a lot of my time focusing and developing my striking. And then, but yeah, like the jujitsu stuff that kind of just sprinkled right on top of my wrestling and blended really well and came easily. So definitely the kickboxing and boxing.
Now, this sounds kind of weird, but as far as transitioning, we're talking about the transitioning into MMA. How did how did you find it? As far as getting kicked in the face and punched in the face. I mean, I mean, I understand that football is a physical sport and everything, but like, how was that transition into like you're getting hit in the face, that kind of stuff?
I think it was really good. Like I didn't mind it at all. And like it's a different mentality because you know with football you're competing with each other. You know everybody's going hard. You're smashing heads. You know it's a bunch of huge dudes that are athletes with basically a weapon on their head, and you're competing and everybody's going really hard. You're not necessarily taking care of each other. But like with this sport, especially with like sparring and stuff like that, I mean obviously in a fight you're going hard and trying to hurt people. But like with the sparring and stuff, you know, we're training with each other, with our teammates, like how to hurt people. So we take really good care of each other. So it really, I don't mind it at all. Like honestly, my head feels better than it ever did with football. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty great.
Now, looking at your record, you went straight to professional fighting. You're in your second fight, and this is going to be number 3 coming up on August 12th. Uh, do you feel like you have enough to progress right now as a fighter? Do you think that is the sparring helping complement the your fights, or do you think that you maybe should you should have took some amateur fights, or how was the mindset in just going straight to pro?
Yeah, I think it worked out really well. And like I'm one of my better skills is I'm good at learning, and I'm good at you know focusing on things and picking up new stuff. And I think it's come really far. And like even down at Kill Cliff, like I'm feeling good sparring against those guys, and those are some of the best dudes in the world. So I mean, yeah, I think I've kept up as far as development goes really well. And like starting pro, I think was probably the best move for me.
Really interesting. Interesting. So, tell me a little bit if you know anything about your opponent, Mark Courier. Now, he's had a big amateur career, but he's one in the pros. Is Have you guys your team scouted him out yet, or is that something that you're kind of just focusing on yourself right now before even thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like like his, I think it was his first pro fight I watched. That was about it. I mean, I don't at this point in my career, I'm not you know developing like some intricate game plan and like you know trying to find gaps in defense or like certain techniques. Like I'm mostly just focusing on doing what I do best and doing it really well, and relying on that to carry me to a win.
I see. And so, as far as this goes now, it's August right now. Would you want to see, if you prevail? I assume you believe you will. Would you want to fight by the end of the year if possible, or would you take the rest of the year off and kind of train, or what's your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I'm young still. I'm in no rush to like pack a bunch of fights in and go crazy with a schedule or be super active, because I'm still learning and developing so much. But yeah, I mean, this I've been off. By the time I fight, it'll be almost a year since my last fight because of my broken hand. So yeah, assuming everything goes well, I wouldn't mind fighting like late fall or this winter for sure.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Bailey, I wish you great luck. August 12th, kind of a home game for you.
Yeah.
And have a great rest of the training camp and have a good rest of the day.
All right, thank you. You too.
All right, take it easy, Bailey.